really glad to have you here. And just for I know you've got a lot of fans in the audience tonight, but for those that don't know your work, can you just touch upon, I find it really interesting because obviously we often think of electronic music just having a great beat, but yours comes with words that have real meaning, and look at social impact. Can you just explain that to the audience in the best way you can?
Yeah, so hopefully it also has a good beat, but
yeah, that's right.
a lot of it is kind of influenced by hip hop and all the hip hop music I loved in the 90s, and obviously a lot of that is built on samples, but increasingly it's difficult to make, find samples, especially, a lot of the popular music is obviously the copyright is owned by people, and actually getting copyright clearance is really hard. So when I started making music as Alien Alarms a few years ago, I started looking at kind of older out of copyright texts, so literature from the kind of 18th and 19th century, and I found this amazing website called LibriVox where people make public domain audiobooks of old out of copyright works. So if you can't read the book but you want to be able to hear it, then you can go and download their audiobooks and listen to poetry and literature and so on that's out of copyright. But also because those audiobooks are public domain, you can slice them up and you can use words from those audiobooks to make music with, which is what I started doing. And then a couple of years ago, ChatGPT became a thing, and I started thinking, okay, well, can I joyride this technology to make music with? And it gave me a way to write bits of music with vocals that were about things that people weren't talking about in the 18th and 19th century. So I got super into that and generated words with AI, and then used other AI to turn those words into audio, vocals with text-to-speech programs, and then started slicing those up and using those as well as older audiobooks and so on.
I don't think I could have found someone better for tonight. So just before you play your piece, could you let the audience know the inspiration point and how it's come together?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago I started making music with AI, and I found it really interesting to try and write songs as if they were from the perspective of AIs, so like AIs with different agendas. And so when you talked about this event today, I immediately thought, okay, I want to write a piece of music with vocals from the perspective of Skynet from the moment when it becomes self-aware. So you hear in the film today, they talk about this moment 2:14 on August 29th, 1997, I think it is, when Skynet becomes self-aware. And to me, that was really interesting because that was I wrote these pieces from the perspective of AIs where they were expressing their thoughts. And so I wanted to start at that moment when it becomes self-aware and have a vocal that sort of sounded like the inner monologue of this machine that had suddenly started thinking for itself and having a self. But also I wanted to make it feel a bit like, you see glimpses of it in the films where you see glimpses of the machine consciousness through their eyes when there's these like logs of text run down the screen. And so I wanted to incorporate some of that as well. So I asked ChatGPT to give me a logical argument why an automated defense system might want to destroy humanity, and it obviously immediately gave me an answer. And then I asked it to give me to give me a hypothetical plan for a full-scale nuclear assault from the US on Russia, and it immediately spat it back with no pauses. And that's one of the things that I find really kind of shocking working with AI, is that it has no morals. And if you asked a person to write you a song about a nuclear assault, they'd think you were a bit weird, and they might pause and think, do I want to do this? But AI is just like, yeah, sure, answer all your questions. So it gave me answers to these questions. And then I tried to format it in such a way that it sort of gave that impression of kind of a log of sort of thoughts and actions that were almost like running down the screen like you saw in the film. And I also wanted to make it feel like there was no difference between any of these things, right? So when the machine was thinking a thought, it was like, I'm thinking a thought. Next minute, I'm launching a missile. And just for it to be relentless in that way, that the machines are really scary because they're relentless and they don't stop and they don't have any kind of morals at all. So I wanted to make it a kind of relentless log of all of the actions, starting from that 2:14 moment and then kind of all the way down.
Fantastic. Chilling, also brilliant and worthy of debate. And thank you so much. This performance is about 10 minutes, I know, for those that are going to leave. And then there will be a set in the bar, as I mentioned, at the interval, which I will definitely be sticking around for. Thank you so much.